Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Spike back again once again. And today we're here for No.1 Sentai Gozyuger episode 4. And in this episode we get the official debut of Gozyuger. Our Green Ranger has arrived for this episode. And this episode was actually pretty dope. It was actually had some slice of life school anime type stuff going on with it. And the fact that, you have this older man, he's 87 by the way, he an old goat, he been here a long while, but his whole story is that, he kind of lived his life kind of just completely just square, like by the books, do the right thing, just straight, right? Just as straight as plank from freaking Ed, Edd n Eddy. But he kind of feels kind of bad about it, and he's really stubborn, and he can't stand people who are soft. All right, he's like, quit being soft. That's his whole thing. But we also see that he does have a wife. They show that he does have a wife that has passed away in this episode, and she wanted, before her last words were basically, I want you to live your life how you like to. And he does make a wish on Tegazord to basically get a second chance at life, and basically and Tegazord basically reverted him back to a teenager, right? So he gets reverted back to a teenager, and he starts going back to school and things like that. But the only way for him to turn back, he could turn from his young self to his older self, but he has to eat eggs, and I guess that's a protein joke. I guess that's a protein joke, because eggs are full of protein. So when he eats that, he goes, and he leaves with the rest of the team back to the home, the apartment building. I'm gonna say the apartment building, and they give him some eggs, and he eats the eggs, and he reverts back to his younger self, and he starts going to school. He gets to the school, and he sees his grandson is actually in the school in the same class as him, and he talks to him and stuff. They meet each other, they talk and stuff like that, and his grandson is yeah, my granddad's he's super stubborn, and he's this and that, and he says, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's never had fun before in his life, but that's why I go out every day and goof off and do stuff and enjoy my life and things like that. And I'm okay, you're a teenager, high school, you're doing, almost everybody was doing stuff like that. But Joji, who was the granddad, Green, he basically says hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and you should be having a dream, and what is your dream, and things like that. And his grandson's I don't care, I don't even have a dream. He's you're a creep. Oh my god. He's god dang. He was trying to stop being like that. He was trying to he wants to be one of the party people. He wants to redo his life and live his life and goof off and do stuff, but he can't do it because he's so stuck in his old ways. So this monster of the week is a party monster, but we also got our mecha fight, which was two of the Golden Bells, but they were a brother. They were they were siblings, right? So we get a double mech fight, but also kind of everyone but Green fights them. We don't Green's mech isn't used in this episode at all, but this monster, he's able to make people party, right? He make people party, and then but everybody parties until they collapse or whatever. He grabs everybody and collects them and puts them inside of this giant disco ball glowing in the sky, and he shot off the disco ball as he shot off these lights that people that they made you party. And the rest of the team, the other three guys, they get shot with these lights, and they get put into these weird outfits and stuff, and and their fingers are stuck in a certain position, so they can't transform for a second. But Joji, he grabs his grandson, and they end up hiding, and they have a heart-to-heart talk and stuff, and you find out that his grandson did have a dream and stuff, that he wants to go to art school because he can paint and draw and things like that. And they have a heart-to-heart with each other, and he kind of he apologizes, and his grandson apologizes to him for being like mean to him earlier, and he's like, hey man, and he tells him like, hey, live your dream and stuff. I'll show you, because earlier in the episode he does get kind of down and stuff, and he throws away the ring, like he throws it in the water and stuff. But we did see that he's able to, with his newfound resolve, he's able to hinge it up, and he ends up fighting the monster by the power of purity, right? And he ends up destroying the giant disco ball that releases everybody and puts everybody back in their right outfits, and the rest of the guys are able to transform. So everybody transforms, and they end up taking, and the other three guys, they end up doing the mech fight, because the two Bell siblings actually come up and start destroying the city, and we have like these two big mechs that's shooting fire and everything in the city and stuff. And the guys, they do the mech fight where they're constantly switching with each other and stuff, but Red is the one that's ultimately able to deal the final blow, which is weird to me, because it's like, so are we I feel like it's gonna be a while, because obviously they're gonna get a mech where all of them are in one mech together. Like that should happen, because they basically have their own separate Megazord, like a full-fledged separate Megazord, right? But most likely they're gonna get a thing where they're in the same big mech together, right? Because when they were fighting them, they had to switch with each other. They couldn't summon their stuff separately to where all three of them were on the stage or on the field at the same time. They were basically switching in between each other, right? Well, forcibly switching in between each other. So it's like, how is them having a full-on, mech where everybody's in it together gonna work, right? And also we see that, while they're in their mechs and stuff, it's very physical. So it's they have to kind of move, and they have to use the controls and things like that. That synergy is gonna be bad. I feel like that synergy is gonna suck when they get to all five of them using a mech together. Maybe that'll be like an Ultra Zord thing. Maybe that, how you have those Ultra Zords where all their mechs are fused together into one. I think that'll be like an Ultra Zord type thing. But anyway, after the mech fight's over, we see that Joji is able to defeat the No.1. Yeah, the monsters are called No.1s, and he ends up defeating him. He pulls out the student that got captured earlier. A student was actually taken over by this monster. He ends up saving the student and actually defeating the party monster. And yeah, he ends up going back and kind of saying goodbye to his family and his young self, because he kind of wants to start this new life and stuff, which is kind of gonna be weird, because it's he's a young dude now. What if he starts a whole nother freaking family lineage? Because he has a son, he had a wife, he has a son, he has a grandson. So it's man, is he gonna start a whole new freaking lineage? Oh no. But yeah, he ends up talking with both of them, and he basically has he has a postcard from himself. Basically, he gives it to his son and his grandson after they just had their own little heart-to-heart talk, where the son actually came out and told his dad, hey dad, I want to go to art school. And his dad was actually really supportive of it. He didn't want to tell him because he didn't think his dad would support him, but he actually did. And Joji goes to them, and the postcard is hey, I'm good, I'm living my life, I'm living life right now. And then they were happy about it. He ends up hugging them and saying their names, and the dad's really confused, how does he know my name? But then when he walks off, the grandson is able to see a silhouette of his older self, and he smiles I see you later, granddad. That's how I felt. And also in this episode, which I completely forgot to talk about, wow, I am sorry, but we see that Don Momotaro, or who the guy the prime minister, who is who is Momotaro, he ends up saving our unicorn, our Black Ranger, because she encounters this guy. I feel like he's a lawyer type dude or whatever, and she talks about a little girl, basically her sister, and basically her sister has a case or something like that, and her sister's a little girl, and she talks to him about it, but he's like, you know, I don't know what you're talking about, but that ring though, I know that ring. And then he ends up transforming into Ryusoul Red, and she tries to transform, but it doesn't work. Like, she has the ring, she has the Take a Sword, you know, Morpher and stuff, but she can't transform. And then that's when the Prime Minister comes in. He ends up saving her, and he ends up defeating the Ryusoul Red dude, and ends up taking his ring and stuff. And we actually see what happens when, you know, the other, like the silver Take a Sword, the silver gauntlet, we see what happens when they are defeated. It's completely destroyed and their ring is taken. So most likely that's what the other guys, you know, were doing as well, primarily blue and yellow. But yeah, and she talks to him about, you know, he's like, I guess he's kind of like trying to help her figure out, you know, what's going on with her sister and stuff. But I do feel like he has something to do with it, and I do feel like he's like manipulating her in some sort of way. But we may see more of that in the next episode. But other than that, this episode was pretty good. I do like the debut of Green. I do like his whole, like, I like his personality and things like that. I kind of thought he was just going to be like weird. I mean, he's weird, but he's weird in a good way, and I like it. So next episode, we are getting the full team will finally make their full debut with each other, and I'm very excited to see that. And I'm really rooting for our Black Ranger. I'm really ready to see, like, what's her, you know, backstory. That what is she actually trying to do with herself. But other than that, oh yeah, I'm forgetting. It's really late at night. I'm sorry. But after, you know, Green leaves his family, we see that Hodu, he ends up pulling out a picture of like another family, and I guess this is him when he was a kid, and he's like, family, huh? So I was like, man, we finna get some backstory on him too, and why he's the lone wolf and stuff like that. Like, he probably has a family out there that he's really not connected with anymore. But well, yeah, can't wait to see that. Like, so much stuff, man, so much stuff. Well, other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about this episode of No.1 Sentai Gozyuger. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Like, what was your problems? What was your pros and cons of this episode? What are some questions that you would like to have answered? But other than that, see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, as I always say, stay henshined.